Let's take a look at the panel accounts menu and all the options that are available there. You'll find it here at the top of the left side menu, and you see that we have 5 modules: active accounts, temp spam block, eternal spam block, archive, and deleted. You might also notice all of these are available in the top tabs right over here. So whichever one you click, either way, you get to the same menu. Alright, first let's look at the Active Accounts tab. If you click in the top right to upload accounts, it'll give you a very detailed set of instructions on how to upload new accounts. The program only accepts the file types .session and .json, meaning that each account should have one file of each type, and both need to be placed into a folder called Sessions, which should be in your Programs folder, and then further into the Active folder for Active Accounts. Once you've placed those, you can then update the tab, and they should appear on the list. Let's take a look at the way that these accounts are organized and categorized. For example, our list of accounts that are in eternal spam block. As you can see, we can sort these out a number of different ways. We can do it by the avatar, by the phone number, which goes in alphanumeric order from least to most, by the username in alphabetic order, by the name as listed on the account in alphabetic order, by the age, how long it's been active, and also by module. You'll notice here that all of these say panel except for the one that says subscribes. The module category tells you which is the last module that this account used. So now we know that this account used the subscribe module last. And to the right of that, we can see exactly what time it used it. And then to the right of that, we can also see the proxy that the account used for this task. If the account didn't use a proxy, then it's just going to show up zeros. Next up, we have the status of the account. If it's free, that means that it's available. If it says ban, that means that account got banned. Then we have the progress bar. If your account is currently running a task, then this will show how far along it's coming. Then we have the roles tab, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. And then you see that each account has its assigned gender and also its two-factor authentication that is assigned to that account. Selecting and sorting these accounts is very easy. All you have to do is click on them individually. Then you go to choose action. And for example, if you wanted to move these accounts to the temporary spam block folder, then just click and go. And then if you wanted to move these accounts back to eternal spam block, just click on them, move them. It's that easy. Sorting these accounts this way doesn't affect the accounts in any way. This is just for your peace of mind, so you know exactly where each account stands. Okay, let's go back to the Active Accounts tab. I forgot to mention, when looking at these lists, you can also indicate how many you want to see in a given list. And you can also select them using this grouping tool up top over here. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to sort all of your accounts from oldest to newest, and you wanted to select the oldest 4 accounts. You could click on them individually, but when you're dealing with larger numbers, that might be tedious to do. So instead, what you can do is just say 1 to 4 up top over here. And there's the grouping. And then you can select them and do whatever you want with them. You can also click Select All to select all the accounts in a given list, and then you can move them around however you want. And you can also cancel your selection by clicking the Unselect button. All right, let's show some functionality. So let's go to our Active Accounts list and click our active account here. And if we assign a task for this account to do, then a proxy will be assigned to it automatically at random from the list of proxies, assuming that we have proxies ready for this. So here I have the desktop client. So let's go ahead and try to log this account in. The first thing we need to do is to click Get Authorization Code. We can actually use this to log any one of your accounts into any device, including the desktop client or even one on your mobile device. Then we copy the phone number, and then we have to enter it once we find the menu. Sorry, hold on a second. There, we enter the phone number, and then the program is going to interact with the Telegram client to extract the code necessary to move on to the next step. So then we enter the code, and then we do the exact same thing for the cloud password if there's two-factor authentication on this account. In this case there is, but we have the password. And here we are. So we have now successfully logged into this account. And if you want to be extra sure it's the right account, you can check the name And you see, Randolph, Randolph. It's the same account. Alright, there are lots of other options that we should discuss, so let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about check for ban. This function is of course great for checking if your account has any issues at all. So when you click on check for ban, it'll give you this sort of report where it will tell you any issues that would be in this account. And then once you know what they are, if there are any, you can sort them out based on those issues in the various folders that we showed previously. So you see on the left here, we have all the different folder types. And then on the right, you can choose what you want your account to do with each of them. Once you're ready, click apply and it should work. Again, this is just for your convenience, just so you're well organized. Next up, we have check for restrictions. If you click on this, then what will happen is the spam info bot will initiate a program to check that your account is safe. And here it is, the spam info bot. So if we click here, we can see that our program initiated the spam info bot. The info bot comes back with good news, no limits are currently applied, you're free as a bird. We replied, cool, thanks, and the bot said no problem. Normally this would be something that an individual user would do manually, but we have a program that does it automatically for us. Nice and convenient. Now let's look at some of the more cosmetic customization options. Let's start with Set Photo. Alright, so when you click on Set Photo, it opens you up to this menu right over here. And first we need to talk about Delete Old Photo. If you click to have this option then it's going to delete the previous photo you had on this account and replace it. If you don't, then both photos are going to be saved onto that account to be used interchangeably later if you wish. If you don't have any photos uploaded yet, you can click on Own and then you can choose the photos to upload as you wish. If you upload more photos than you have accounts, for example, if you have 5 accounts and 20 photos, the photos will be chosen at random from that list. This is not to be confused with this random button on the left side here. If you click on this button, the program is going to find a photo from the internet and just make it the avatar for your account based on the gender. So every account has an assigned gender and is going to find a random photo and make it the avatar for that account based on that gender. So we can already see that the photo has been uploaded to the panel, but if we want to double check, we can check the client as well. And you see here, yep, it's the same photo. It's our boy Randolph. Next up is Set Username. Currently, this account has a full name, but it doesn't have a username yet. And when we click on this function, the program generates one at random. So here we go. And it's done. And then we can double check again that the username corresponds to the one as indicated on the desktop client. Next up is Set Names. So let's say for whatever reason we don't like the name Randolph and we want to change it. Well, this is the function to do it. It takes a little while to load up. Alright, here is the menu. If you click on any of the country names, so Czech names, Estonian names, English names, etc., it will choose a name randomly from its list of prescribed names in that category. If you click one for all, you can choose one name that it'll assign to all the accounts you have grouped for this particular task. And you can also then choose from file, where you choose your own names, in which case you have to, of course, set the path for the file to be found. Alright, let's choose a random male English name, and it should change it in a matter of seconds. And just like that, we can double check to see that it has changed the name both on the panel and the desktop client. And so now our guy's name is Hoyt Sargent. Alright, let's move on to Set Bio. You go to Choose Action and then Set Bio, and it should open up this menu over here. So if we look at the account that we have here on our desktop client, we can see that there is no bio here whatsoever. This function will let us fill one in. And what's really great is that this one actually uses syntax. This means that for any given value, we can set a number of options that it can choose randomly. So here we've written the numbers 1 or 2 for it to apply. The task is complete, and then if we check the bio, we can see it chose 1 or 2. In this case, it chose 1. So using syntax this way, you can randomize the info in the bios of multiples of your accounts if you run it simultaneously. You can also just as easily delete the bio by going to Choose Action and Delete Bio. And then if we check again, we see that now there's nothing in the bio section. We can fill it however we want. And then we have Set Gender. Note that this function only sets the gender for your accounts inside of this program. And it only changes the gender, which means that all the other data that we've set before would stay the same until we change it again. So you see now Hoyt Sargent is female. And then if we want to change it back, we can turn him into a male again. Moving on, just like we can delete the bio, we can also delete the username for your accounts. So you go here to click Delete Username. And it deletes it in a matter of seconds. And then we can check to make sure that it in fact has been erased. And we see that it has. And you might have also noticed we can also do the same thing for Delete Photo as well. If we click on Delete Photo, it will delete the photo that is currently set up as the avatar for that account. So now we've removed it, and we can see on the desktop client that there is no photo anymore. And lastly on this list, we have the Update Photo function. This is for if you have a photo uploaded to the client manually, but it doesn't show up in the panel here on the program. You can click Update Photo, and it will extract that photo to update it on the panel as well, just so it's all one-to-one. Moving on to the second column, at the top of it, we see Set 2FA, which stands for Two-Factor Authentication. This is how we can set two-factor authentication for our accounts. You see here that we can either generate a password, or we can enter one of our own if we want to. If we click to generate the password, you see the task is complete, and we even get a message from the client notifying us that our password for two-factor authentication has been changed. And in the exact same way, we can also delete our two-factor authentication password. And then once the task is complete, it'll once again send a message notifying you that that password has been deleted. Okay, now we can move on to close third-party sessions. We already covered Get Authorization Code. If you click on third-party sessions, the program is going to close all the sessions this account is currently in, except for tgexpert itself. So you see task complete, and we got kicked out of the desktop client because it is one of those third-party sessions that's not tgexpert itself. It kicked us out. If you would have had this account open in a mobile device as well, then it would have kicked it out of that one as well. All right, let's move on to the privacy settings category. As you can see, we have 4 options here. Now, typically, upon registration, by default, accounts are left open to invites. If you want to change this, you have to click Close Invites to prevent this account from being invited to chats. So you click here, and then all the accounts that you selected will be closed for invites. And then below Close and Open, you also have Show Phone and Hide Phone. By default, upon registration, accounts are set to hide their phone number, but if you'd like to show it, then you click on Show, and it will show the phone number. Next up is Add Role, which is currently hidden behind the desktop client. I apologize. But if you open it up here, you can then type in any numbers or letters to assign a role to this particular account or group of accounts, to make it easily searchable for later. I'll explain in a second. But if I move the desktop client out of the way, then you can see that there's a role assigned on the right side to this account. And you can just as easily remove it using the Remove Role function. But let's go ahead and add that role again because I want to demonstrate what this is good for. You can think of these roles as tags that make your accounts much more easily searchable. If you later want to filter your accounts, one of the ways you can filter them is by the role here in the list. All right, let's remove this role for now and move on to the Maintain Account Online option. What it does is it maintains your account's online presence if you wanted to. First, let's go ahead and check what the current status is. To do that, we'll have to copy the username, and I've already prepared a desktop client through which we can search for it. So here is our account, and the client is telling us that it was last active at 17:15. All right, now let's go back to the menu and click Maintain Account Online. And this should open up this window right here. So you can use this to make your account appear online for a specified amount of time. You can choose either seconds or minutes. So let's say we choose 30 seconds. And now the program is going to keep this account online for exactly 30 seconds. We can see by the progress bar. If we go to the desktop client, we can now see that this account is shown as online. And it's going to stay that way until the 30 seconds are up. So normally the progress bar when assigning a task refers to the amount until the completion. In this case, it determines the duration that you've set. We set 30 seconds, so it's a 30-second progress bar. And the last function I'll show you today is the reset proxy option. This is for if you just want your account to attach to a different proxy for the next task. Click on it, it'll switch to 0, and then next time you assign a task, it'll choose a random proxy again. So here you have all the different ways you can manage your accounts.